Hey everyone, welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michele, and you're listening to Numbers Don't Lie, where you'll learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. On today's show, we're going to be talking about being where the money resides, because who doesn't want to be there? I know I like to be there, and I've lived there for quite some time. I'll take you back to when I was in college. I graduated with no debt and a nice sized bank account. Then went on to get 2 more degrees and still no student loan debt. So you see, I like to be where the money resides, and I like the money to reside in my account, okay? But today's show, you're going to be learning a lot about things like that. Parents, lean in. College students, take notes. I have something for all of you. It's going to be exciting. You're going to laugh a little, but you're definitely going to catch these gems. Y'all ready to get started? Let's go. Hold on now. Before we get too far, y'all all up in my loft in the Brownstone. Let me give you a little bit more information about myself so we can get cozy with each other. We're no longer strangers. So again, my name is Dr. Michele. I'm a sister, a friend, an Aunt Shell. I love to sing and dance. And I'm also the CEO and Chief Data Scientist of Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting, where I help organizations find the right people and increase their revenue. Okay. We got that out the way. We know each other a little better. If we see each other on the street, say what's up. Now, let's get in. To today's show, we're going to be talking about being where the money resides. It's not just a cute phrase that, was popularized on social media. It's a real place, and I like to be there. I actually can't recall one time where I wasn't. I was actually in middle school, and there was a school dance coming up. Go with me. I'm going somewhere with this. And the school dances at school were the bomb, okay? They weren't just standing on the wall. We had some bumping music. We was on a dance floor with our friends, and we was dancing with boys. We weren't shy like that back then, but we just had a great time. The DJ was bumping. It was our history teacher. Now, he won't just some rinky-dink, DJ with a playlist. He actually was a real DJ outside of school, so he was the bomb, and I wanted to be up in there. But there was one problem. I didn't have no money to go. Like none. I don't know where my allowance went. It was all spent. I literally don't know. I'm like, we didn't go that many places to spend money. I don't know to this day. Doesn't matter. I didn't have the money. I couldn't go. And I couldn't ask my mom for money because she was going to say what she always says. Well, at least I think in my head she would say, where's your money? That's why you have an allowance. So I just went ahead and saved myself the embarrassment and the conversation and just played it cool. Like I didn't want to go. Like, oh, your sister going, it's cool. I'd rather be at home. I don't really want to go like that. We went to go drop her off. I'm acting still cool. Like, oh, have a good time. All the time in the inside, I'm like, I want to go up in there. But it's cool. I probably was wanting my mom to be like, you sure you don't want to go? Here's the money, go. But no, she drove us right back home. Right back to the house, y'all. So I did not go to that dance, but let me tell you this. That was the last student dance I missed, or the last school dance I missed, and that was the last time that I ran out of money. I didn't like the way it felt. The dance was only like $3, and I literally didn't have it. I didn't even have enough coins to scrounge up. I did not have it. I didn't like the way that felt. So I made up in my mind that I would much rather be where the money resides than on the backside of the mountain somewhere with nothing. I know I can get an amen on that, okay? So let's fast forward a little bit. Just all throughout my childhood, for the most part, middle school on through high school, I was very much aware of money. I was money conscious. It could have been because my mom, she was very organized with finances and she didn't hide that from us, or we didn't have a lot growing up. Combination of the two. Either way, I was just very aware that money was limited. Like I couldn't just get everything that I wanted. So when Christmas time came along, we didn't really ask for a lot. And we went to the store, we rarely asked for anything then. Come to think of it, it might have been more to do with us getting the talk in the car before we went into the store. Y'all know the talk I'm talking about. If you know it, say it with me. When we get into this store, don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing because you ain't getting nothing. I see we all grew up in the same house. It's all good. We're much better now. We evolved. We got our own money now. We can go to the store to get what we want. But going, preparing for college, my mom was very clear about this. She said, you're going to go where the money resides. Now, of course, she didn't use that language, but she pretty much said, you're going to go to the school that offers you the most money. I mean, straight like that. You're going to go to an in-state school just in case I need to foot the bill for anything. So she was like, y'all need to be applying for colleges and scholarships alike. Okay, the two go together. Get them grades, get them scholarships, and get into this school, and preferably with the least amount of money out of my pocket as possible. Cool, Mom. We can do this. So I got a partial scholarship to North Carolina Central University. Well, we are not any common, ordinary barnyard fowl. We fly high with the eagles because that's what we are. Shout out to all my North Carolina Central alum out there. Shout out to all the HBCU grads out there. What's up? It's all HBCU love. Now, let me take a moment to actually contrast this experience with a friend of mine. Same age, similar background. Her mom didn't make as much money either, but she overcompensated a lot. Simply put, she spoiled her daughter. That was just straight like that. But she also wanted to go to an HBCU, but she literally had no idea about money. It's like money. I don't know. I literally don't know. I didn't think like that. So I can't get into that brain, but she had no idea about money. She just spent it. That was it. She just spent it. So when it was time to go to college, you would think if you want to go to this competitive HBCU in Atlanta, that you would get the grades to make sure you get in and to get some scholarships because your mom don't have it like that. Well, while we were in high school, going to class was not a priority for her. So she barely got into the school with no scholarships. So she ended up going to a different school, racked up a whole bunch of student loans, and ended up walking away later with no degree. Still have student loans, but no degree. And I know that's a reality for a lot of people out there, and it's no shame. But as you listen to today's episode, you're going to really get into your mind about what I'm talking about and making decisions that are best for yourself, your family, and your business. Remember, we're getting out of our feelings right now. Okay. So if I offended you, I'm sorry, but it's for your good. It's for your good. Alrighty. So let's get back into it. Back then, I planned on being a teacher, and I did teach for a little bit. I planned on being a high school math teacher. So it really didn't make sense for me to go to a very expensive school anyway. Like the likelihood that I was going to be able to pay back the student loans if I had to get them at an expensive school, an Ivy League school, because I had the grades to get in, the likelihood that I could pay them back within 5 years, 10 years maybe, was very low. Like teachers in North Carolina don't make that much. Teachers in South Carolina don't make that much. I mean, teachers in general don't make that much money. And I lived that experience. We really didn't. I don't know how teachers that had single parents that were teachers that still was paying student loans, but I don't know how they did it. I was fortunate that I was just a single woman. I didn't have any student loan debts. I got to keep my money. But man, if I had to split that somewhere else, that's all I got to say is So parents, it's okay for your children to be aware of money, to be a little more money conscious. They don't have to know everything that's going on, right? They don't need to all know all the details, but they need to know something. And it's okay to set boundaries. That's exactly what my mom did. She set boundaries where I was going to go to school. I was cool with it, but there were boundaries set for me, so I knew how to operate. I mean, and you're 17, 18 years old, you're still stupid. Like, I'm not trying to throw no shade, but our brains weren't even fully developed yet. So we really weren't that smart. So all that responsibility on a 17, 18-year-old choosing a school, a degree, some of those thing combinations don't make no sense. Parents, help your children out because we really weren't that smart back then. We really were not that smart. So let me just go ahead and just again remind you that you are listening to Numbers Don't Lie with Dr. Michele on KCCR, the Brownstone. I want you to make sure you follow me on social media at Mogul Beginnings. That's Mogul, MOGUL Beginnings on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find me on brownstoneworldwide.com. Welcome home, y'all. Welcome home. I just had to get that out the way because y'all need to know who I am, what we're doing here, and that you know that you are home. You are welcome in our home. All right, so let me get back and finish telling you about how I like to be where the money resides, because I want you to be there too. So remember, I graduated with no student loan debt, right? Let me tell you how. Parents and college students, I need you to lean in right now and taking notes. So if you're driving, get there safe. If you're somewhere you can take some notes, take some quick notes. I need you to commit this. And hopefully this is something you've already heard. So it's just watering that seed so you can go out there and do something different with your life. All right. Let me break it down for you. I got 3 points and that's it. I ain't gonna bore you to death. Number 1, I had a goal. Number 2, I was always looking for opportunities. And number 3, I wasn't afraid to sacrifice. Now I'm gonna go through each one really quickly. Number 1, I had a goal to save $10,000 by the time I graduated from college. $10,000 is a lot for a 20-year-old, but what did I have to lose by believing? Now, as an adult, we realize $10,000 really isn't that much money. That's less than 1 year of your rent and mortgage. If you live in a large city, that's like 5 months or less. You're not supposed to live in Boston. That's less than 5 months of rent. I'm so serious. Less than 5 months of rent in Boston. $10,000 is a few months of your salary. So it doesn't go that far as an adult. But when you're 20 years old, $10,000 is a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So that was my goal. Number 2, I was always looking for opportunities to help me realize that goal. I was always searching. When I say I was always searching, I was always searching. There's a misconception out there that scholarships are only for undergraduate students or incoming students. That is false, y'all. It's wrong, 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 wrong. I spent my whole entire tenure at North Carolina Central University looking for scholarships. Like the whole time I looked for more money. And across that time, I received 5 different scholarships from that went to my college funds. Now, y'all know what happens when your scholarships outweigh your tuition and fees, right? Can we say refund? Refund. And guess what? I got to keep all that money. I had to pay none of it back because there were some students real happy about that refund, not realizing or caring that it was student loan money and that money had to be paid back. Someone was heading straight to the mall. The mall clerks knew when refund checks hit. Everybody was up in there getting some outfits because back then we started to go to the club. We started to go to the pre-dawns. You know what I'm saying? We had a good old time, but we were 2 different people at the time. My money was mine. Their money had to be returned at some point. So y'all, get this. Because I kept looking for scholarships, I was always open, right? One scholarship I actually got, it followed me when I started teaching. So actually, when I started teaching, they paid me $5,000 every year for the first 5 years. $5,000 every year. For 5 years, that's $25,000. Now, I didn't make it to 5 years. I gave them 3. I was like, man, y'all, let me tell y'all, I was this close to walking out of the classroom early. I had a scholarship that had to be repaid through service. And so if I did not do service, I had to pay that scholarship back. Y'all, it was so bad my first year. I was really like, how much I owe y'all? Because this ain't it. This ain't it. But I stuck it out. I taught my 3 years and I got that letter in the mail that said, Miss Michele, at the time, I won't doctor, Miss Michele Josey, you have paid back all of your student loans or you've paid all your service back. You do not owe the state of North Carolina anything. I was out, y'all. I was out. Okay. So you see what I'm talking about. The math was mathing real good for me as that money was flowing right on to me. Flow to me, flow to me. And so, number 1, let's recap. I had a goal. Number 2, I was always looking for opportunities. Number 3, I wasn't afraid to make sacrifices. Again, I sacrificed, first of all, my time looking for scholarships. I don't think any of my friends were doing that. I don't. I would take time out of my schedule to just look, apply, ask for recommendations. Yo, all that takes time. And let me tell you, this is another little gem I'm about to drop for you. Parents, tell your students pay close attention. So because I was always applying for something, y'all, I had my key people. Usually they would ask for 2 to 3 people to, do your recommendation letter. I had my key people. I would ask them. So the only thing they really had to do was just change, a couple points. This is a scholarship, this is the year, maybe some lines that go straight to what they're talking about. And sometimes I would write the letter for them. All they had to do was just kind of put their little, shink-a-dink on it and then send it off. So I had my key people. It took time though to build those relationships. I had to make sure that I was doing well in their classes so they would want to do those recommendations for me. It took time to fill out those applications. It took time to write those essays. So I sacrificed a lot of time to make sure I finished strong and in meeting my goal. Then, y'all, I sacrificed my summers. Remember, I said I was always on the internet looking for something. So during my summers, I didn't like to go home. So I was just looking for something to do. Now, I was definitely going to go if they was paying me a stipend. So one particular summer, I actually went to Ohio. That's actually how I ended up at the Ohio State. I got my little start in my exposure there, but we'll say that for another day. But I went to this math camp in Ohio, and let me tell y'all why I went. They said they was going to pay your girl $3,000. All I had to go up there is be there for 6 weeks, and they was going to pay me $3,000. I'll go there. I got paid to learn, y'all. And let me put some icing on the cake, y'all. Let me tell you, because they was recruiting minorities and women hard. Let me put a little icing on the cake. So not only did they give us $3,000 at the end of the summer, we got all meals paid for. Okay, like we could eat 3 meals a day, no problem. We got the company car. We got a car we could share to drive somewhere if we want to go to the store or whatever. Me and my friend, we jacked the car and we went to the club in the neighboring city because it was in the middle of nowhere. So we drove to Cincinnati to the club. I digress. I'm sorry, y'all. I hadn't thought about that in a while, but we had such great perks for being there. And then at the end of all that, I got to put that on my resume when it was time for me to apply for colleges. I got recruited for college, but y'all, I got paid to do all that and to get all that. So yes, I sacrificed my summer to go to math camp, but I got that money. Okay. And actually I kept doing that as a teacher. We got summers off. I wasn't really teaching summer school. That really wasn't my thing. I had enough during the August to June. So during the summers, we didn't have nothing to do. So again, I would find something to do and I would find opportunities. Your girl landed her a free trip to India. Did you heard me right? India, the country in Asia for free. Yes. Now, some of those other summer programs that I went to both in college and while I was teaching, they were always fun. It wasn't a vacation. It meant that I probably couldn't take a long vacation, but I was willing to sacrifice to meet my goal. Okay. And you remember I said I was money conscious because of my mom. Now I was partly motivated to do all I was doing as far as continue to look for scholarships because I didn't want to continue to be a burden. She was paying the balance. Now, granted, back then, I've graduated from school like over 10 years ago at this point. But back then, college wasn't that expensive as it is now. So her paying a balance wasn't as bad then as it is now. But I didn't even want her to do that. So I kept aggressively looking. But you know what, y'all? It actually paid off that I did that. It paid off that I was finding an abundance of scholarships that she didn't have to come out her pocket anymore. She didn't have to swipe her card. She didn't have to come to the school, nothing. Because it got to a point where she could no longer be in that headspace to be concerned about those things. My mom got really sick and she really couldn't just be herself the way she used to. So it worked out for so many reasons. Yes, I met my goal. But 2, I was able to, again, relieve some burden, some pressure, some worry off of my mom during that time.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio.
My station.
The Brownstone Center. And don't forget, no matter where you go, there we are.
Listen, I didn't always feel like doing the research. I didn't always feel like spending my summers learning. I wanted to be chilling like everybody else. I did, but I'm not like everybody else. My feelings were not going to help me reach my goals. And all that paid off All right, so this is what I mean about getting out of our feelings so we can make the best decisions for ourselves, our family, and our business. Because that really propelled me, y'all. Like, I have so much more to tell you. You're going to have to wait another few weeks to hear that. I got some guests coming up here. They're going to be dropping some gems about this. Y'all going to have to wait. But being like that, not being up in my feelings so early, I wasn't heartless, but not being up in my feelings so early, it really propelled me and my future. And I continue to do this both personally and professionally. I help nonprofits and small businesses strategize, optimize, and scale using the power of their data. It's really hard to make good decisions when you're emotional. We can't be Carl Thomason out here. Being emotional, you gotta let it go, y'all. That's true both our business life and personally. I'm sure, and let me know, okay? Let me know if I'm right. Hit the money. When you're emotional and your feelings about stuff, you tended to make a decision that you regretted later. Because it wasn't based on facts. It wasn't based on anything. You just, how you felt at the moment. Feelings come and go. Happiness comes and goes. Sadness comes and go. But to make a very large decision, that's what we do sometimes too. Making very large, critical decisions in those moments is so dangerous. So if you've taken nothing else from what I said today, I hope you've taken away that we're going to get out of our feelings so we can make better decisions. You don't have to be a robot, but I want us to make better decisions for ourselves, our family, and our business. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today at the Brownstone. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook at Brownstone Worldwide, and you can visit us at brownstoneworldwide.com. I have some articles up there, and it's going on this subject just so you can get it in your brain that numbers don't lie, because they don't. Now, I'm going to be back every week with something so you can learn more about getting out of your feelings and make the best decisions. You can again follow me on social media at Mogul Beginnings. That's MOGUL, Mogul Beginnings on Instagram and Facebook, and also on brownstoneworldwide.com. I also have a live Q&A every Wednesday at 5. It's called Ask a Data Scientist. And you get to ask me questions that are related to business and data. And it's about how you can find your right people and increase your revenue. So what I need you to do now is head on over, right after the show is over, head over to my Instagram page to submit a question. It could be something as simple as, Dr. Michele, what is a data scientist and what they do? Especially if you have a business or a nonprofit. Go on over, go to my page, click the link in my bio, and ask a question, and I will answer it live. And you know what's even better? I would love if you tuned in on Wednesday and listen to me answer your question. Because I will, and I will tag you. And then if you follow me, I'm going to follow you back. So come on over to the Brownstone, come on over to Mogul Beginnings and follow us so we can stay in contact with each other. We friends now. You've been up in my loft. You up in my home. We here now. So again, thank you so much for spending time with me today, y'all. I really appreciate it. I am a teacher at heart. I love teaching. So I hope you learned yourself something today. If you did, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Share this with someone so they can also get into their brains that numbers don't lie and that we getting out our feelings so we can make the best decisions for ourselves, our family, and our business. Until next time, I'm Dr. Michele. Bye, y'all.
Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting helps nonprofits and small businesses strategize, optimize, and scale by unleashing the power of their data. So if you're ready for your data to be unleashed to help your business tell beautiful stories, connect today by logging on to mogulbeginnings.com. That's